Hi everyone, and welcome back to our lessons dedicated to helping you avoid some common vocabulary mistakes. Now, as I've mentioned before, I teach English, business English, to students from around the world. And I was thinking that it would be a great idea to share some of the common mistakes most of my students are making in areas such as vocabulary or grammar and pronunciation. I want these lessons to be an opportunity to learn from other people's mistakes and improve those areas where common slip-ups tend to happen. If you like, you may also share some mistakes that you have managed to correct in the comments of this video so that others can learn from your mistakes. Let me remind you that I consider this channel as a platform for learning and development. So here's the place to make any comments, suggestions, and feedback. That would be greatly appreciated. What I would love for you to do next is to start commenting if you feel comfortable so that we can start sharing ideas and opinions. And why not even be a community of learners for discussing different kind of English topics or business English topics. Okay, so let's dive into today's lesson. Today, we will continue our search for common vocabulary mistakes and dive into English collocations that you need to get right to sound more like a native speaker. Now, collocations are pairs or groups of words that are often used together. These combinations sound natural to native speakers, but they can be difficult for non-native speakers because you might want to use synonyms or similar words that don't go together in English. Let's take a look at an example. We need to make a decision about the project deadline because we make a decision and we don't do a decision, as so many of you may think. Now, some of you know that the correct collocation is to make a decision, but they say to do a decision when speaking quickly. So it's important to be aware of this mistake and make an effort to correct it. See what I did there? I used another collocation, to make an effort. So you don't do an effort, but you make an effort. And there are many other collocations that start with the verb make. Let's take a look at them. You can make a mistake. Everyone makes a mistake now and then. You can make a promise. She made a promise to improve her performance. You can make a suggestion. Can I make a suggestion for the project? You can make a point. He made a good point during the discussion. You can make a complaint. They decided to make a complaint about the service. You can also make a difference. Your feedback really made a difference. You can make an excuse. Don't make an excuse for missing the deadline. You can make a plan. Let's make a plan for the upcoming campaign. You can make a choice. You need to make a choice between the two options. And you can make a change. We need to make a change in our strategy. Now, in the same way we use the verb make to create English collocations, we can also use other simple verbs to develop great expressions. Verbs like to have, to take, to get, and so on. So let's see some of them one by one and identify which verbs to use with common business nouns. At the end of this quick reminder, there will be a short quiz, so feel free to take some notes. Note down the ones you don't know or the ones that you often mix up. Okay, let's go. Let's start with a verb to take. You can take a break. You can take action, take responsibility, take notes, take a risk, take advantage, take time, take care, take a look, and take a chance. Let's see how we would use these in sentences. Let's take a break after the meeting. The company decided to take action on the complaint. He needs to take responsibility for his actions. Remember to take notes during the presentation. Sometimes you have to take a risk to succeed. We should take advantage of this opportunity. It will take time to see results. Please take care of the client's request. Can you take a look at this report? I'll take a chance on you. Moving on, we find the verb to have, which is very common. You can say to have a meeting, to have a conversation, to have an idea, to have impact, to have a good time, to have fun, to have a problem, to have a question, to have an argument, and to have patience. Now let's look at some sentences. We'll have a meeting on Monday. Let's have a conversation about the project. I have an idea that could help us save time. Her work had a huge impact on the team. We hope you have a good time at the event. Let's have fun with this team building activity. We might have a problem with the budget. Do you have a question about the assignment? They had an argument over the budget. We will need to have patience during this transition. Let's move on to the verb to give. You can give advice and you can give a presentation. You can give an example and give feedback. You can give your permission. You can give someone a hand. You can give a warning, give a speech, give a compliment, and give your opinion. Let's put them into sentences. She always knows how to give good advice. Here we give a presentation on the new strategy. Can you give an example to clarify this point? Please give feedback on my proposal. You need to give permission before they proceed. Can you give me a hand with these files? He gave a warning about potential delays. She was invited to give a speech at the event. It's nice to give a compliment when deserved. I'd like you to give your opinion on this matter. Let's move on to the verb hold. You can hold a meeting, hold a conversation, hold a position, hold an event. You can hold a discussion. You can also hold a gathering. You can hold an opinion. You can hold a vote, hold an interview, and hold a press conference. Let's put them into sentences. Number 1, they're going to hold a press conference this morning. Number 2, the team decided to hold a meeting to discuss the project's progress. Number 3, in the training, we learned how to hold a productive conversation. Number 4, she worked hard to hold her position as an expert in her field. Number 5, the company plans to hold a major event to launch its new product. Number 6, we need to hold a discussion with all stakeholders. Number 7, every year they hold a large gathering to celebrate their employees. Number 8, the manager encouraged the team to hold different opinions. Number 9, the committee decided to hold a vote on the proposed changes. And number 10, I was scheduled to hold an interview with a candidate this evening. Now, why do we have sometimes different verbs in the same collocation with the same noun, like, for example, to have a meeting and to hold a meeting? There is actually a subtle difference, and it depends on the context that we're using the collocation and the formality of the situation. You would say to have a meeting if the situation is casual and you're just referring to participating or attending in a meeting. For example, let's have a meeting tomorrow to go over the details. So you use it for everyday conversations, informal or semi-formal settings. Whereas to hold a meeting implies a level of responsibility for organizing or leading that meeting. It has a more formal tone and is often used in a professional context. For instance, the board will hold a meeting next week to review the budget. In short, to have a meeting focuses on attending or being part of the meeting, whereas to hold the meeting suggests organizing or leading it and is much more formal. Now that we've looked at all these collocations, what you can do is either take a quick look at your notes, so all the things that you didn't really know or didn't remember, or you can also pause this video and go and review them for a while, and then come back so we can start our pop quiz. Okay, so here's the quiz. We have 10 sentences, 10 fill-in-the-gap sentences that you need to find the right verb, the supporting verb of the collocation. Okay, so I'll read through them once, and you just try to note down the right verb. And of course, I'll give you the answers as we're moving ahead. Let's start with number 1. We need a decision by tomorrow about the new hire. What do we need to do? Yes, we need to make a decision by tomorrow. Let's go to number 2. Could you something me a favor and check this document? What's the right verb here? Could you do me a favor? Yes, and check this document. Number 3. The company is planning to something an event for its 50th anniversary. What is the company planning to do? Think of a formal verb that we need here. To hold an event. Yes. Number 4. She suggested we something a look at the data before finalizing the report. What should we do here? We need to take a look at the data. Lovely. Number 5. Our manager will something a presentation at the upcoming conference. What will our manager do? Our manager will give a presentation at the upcoming conference. Very nice. Number 6. I want to something a chance and apply for the international assignment. I want to take a chance and apply for the international assignment. Let's move on. Please something notes during the lecture as there will be a quiz later like this one. Please do what? What did I ask you to do in the beginning? Take notes. Please take notes during the lecture. Let's move on. He always tries to something responsibility for his actions. It's the same verb as above, to take responsibility. Number 9. We should something a discussion about the budget before making cuts. What should we do? Think of a formal verb again. We should hold a discussion. Lovely. And number 10, it's crucial to something action immediately to address the complaint. What do we need to do here? We need to take action. Lovely. It's crucial to take action immediately to address the complaint. All right, so how about that? We just covered some crucial vocabulary mistakes that non-native speakers make quite often. And I hope that some of these resonated with you too. Now, I suggest that you review them one more time when you have some time to really lock them in your memory and make sure that you never repeat these mix-ups ever again. If you enjoyed this video, then look for our next one where we are going to look into some common pronunciation mistakes, since English is full of silent letters that are written but they're not pronounced. Thank you for watching, and be sure to share your ideas and thoughts in the comments of this video. Cheers, everyone!